Mark Green here. Welcome to Whiteboard Wednesday, and we're going to talk a little bit about an amendment that was put on the FAA authorization and the Constitution. But first, let's review what happened. During COVID, President Biden was trying to put, he wanted to shut the entire country's economy down and tell businesses that they couldn't be open. He wanted to mandate the vaccine, to make businesses have to have a vaccine, but he realized that he didn't have the constitutional authority to do that. So it wound up being the governors and local governments that shut down the economy. He also realized he couldn't do it to businesses directly, so he did a little bit of an end around. And Biden did an executive order for government contractors. So if a company does business with the federal government, that business had to have a vaccine mandate. That hit the airlines. And what the airlines did was talk about it more than anything. One of them actually did it. But let's go over what the top four, at least, airlines in America did. Southwest talked about doing it, said they were going to do it, and then wound up not implementing a vaccine mandate. Delta kept all of their people who chose not to get the vaccine, but they did charge them an extra $200 for health insurance. If I worked for Delta, I'd be asking for that money back. United is the one who fired, and they fired or put on unpaid leave 2,200 pilots. But they did hire back 2,000 of those. American never did a mandate to our research, but they did require masks, of course, and they had weekly health attestations from their pilots. So we're really talking about 200 United pilots. So just to kind of go over what the difference between mandating a government employee from the federal government and mandating a business. I actually carried the amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that said no soldier or sailor, airman, or Marine will be discharged dishonorably for not taking the vaccine. We did that the first year. The Democrats actually let it pass when they were in the majority, which was kind of shocking. I supported the amendment to halt the vaccine mandate as soon as we got into the majority, and then I supported reinstatement of all the DOD fired for refusing to take the mandate. So I clearly believe that the federal government has the authority to tell the federal government what to do, and we shut it down. Now, last week on the FAA Authorization Act, which is about the FAA, there was an amendment that gave the federal government the right to compel a private business to hire people back. Now, President Biden realized he didn't have the authority to do that because it was unconstitutional. When you look at this, I get it. I mean, I'd love to see United hire these people back. I mean, it pisses you off that they're doing that. And if I worked for United, I'd leave them. In a free market, you go work for somebody else if your boss is a jerk. But the federal government has no business telling a private business in this country how to do its hiring processes. And that's why I voted no on that amendment. Federal government has no business. We can't let the camel's nose in the tent. Even Joe Biden didn't do it. That's Whiteboard Wednesday.